I played every single update of Geometry Dash from 1.0 all the way to 2.2 and ranked them on a tier list, as that's what the cool kids do nowadays. Make sure to stay till the end, as some of these updates were surprisingly a bit cursed, but enough of that, let's hop straight into the earliest version of Geometry Dash. Okay, so we're in 1.0, and wow, the music is loud. First thing I'm noticing is how empty it actually looks. No player profile or daily chests. What about this? Okay, we still got quite a few color choices. Not a lot of cubes, but we can deal with that. Wait a second. How do I customize my ship? Okay, so it turns out that changing your ship wasn't a thing yet, so yeah, that's awkward. So far, the game is running pretty smoothly. Funnily enough, I'm using an Android emulator to play this, as at the time this version hadn't even been released on PC. There hasn't been anything significantly different. Okay, why does my ship look like that? And also, why does it feel so floppy? It seems like there's some sort of shading to it, which I guess looks fine, I'm just not that used to it. Honestly, straight flying feels way harder on this version, as the ship is just too wobbly. Oh yeah, also secret coins hadn't been added yet, so there's that. Okay, can someone tell me why all the texture is just misaligned?
Hell no, man, what the fuck, man?
This update only features the main levels up to Jumper, which is rated insane for some reason. Honestly, not that bad for a first release. There are still quite a lot of main levels that players could have played, and by the looks of it, there's also an online tab that has all the main features like level editor and level search. Unfortunately, I don't think I can search levels as there are no actual servers, yeah no. The editor seems a bit empty. Wow, this menu looks so different, and my game crashed. For some reason the game keeps crashing when I try and change the background color, but I cannot be hating on it too much as this was only the initial release. All in all, when it comes to the ranking, I will unironically place this in S tier as that's where it all started from, and if it wasn't for this, the game wouldn't have existed and you wouldn't have been watching this video. By the way, you should subscribe. This update actually released only a month after the previous one, and it introduces the level time machine, so you know what that means. Now, I myself am not a mirror portal hater, but I cannot defend it either. It's somewhat of a pointless feature which many people dislike. Speaking of dislike, this update also added the dislike option and player comments for online levels. It's evident that RobTop wanted to cause chaos on that day. That said, I'm quite a big fan of this level, and when it comes to the song and gameplay, it's not bad at all. But I cannot just skim over the fact that all this update added was the mirror portal and freedom of speech. And if Twitter taught us one thing, it's that it was a mistake.
Stupid. What's 9 plus 10?
1.2, okay. Again, 1 month after the last one. It seems like RobTop really was consistent with those updates. In this one, nothing has really changed in the icon selection, but the main level cycles is now in the game, which also means the ball game mode is here too. Oh wait, the pause menu is definitely different. There are more checkboxes now. I was going through the update logs and it looks like this major update has only added this level with its new game mode, icons, and achievements. Wait, the ship is fixed now. Now it actually feels more like the current one that we have. However, it still has this weird shading to it. As for the rest of the game, I'm pretty sure it all looks the same. Editor is the same. Oh wait, this actually works now. It's not crashing my game anymore. W RobTop. Alright, similar to the last update, this one didn't include that much new content, but I think we can all agree that the ball game mode is kinda ballin', and it is a new game mode unlike the mirror portal, so I'll actually put it one rank above. Time for 1.3. Now here, yep, there are definitely a lot more icons, and more importantly, you can check out RobTop's Twitter and Facebook account. And it seems like stars also got introduced in this update, so that's cool. Like the last ones, this update got released a month after, and I think, oh yeah, X-Step baby! Now, I don't know what it is about this level, it just has aura. What also got added with this level are the blue orbs and pads. In my very humble opinion, I think blue orbs are awesome. Even though the way they get introduced in this level is questionable. Like, who thought placing them as obstacles is a good first impression? I think GD Cologne has a video on this topic, which was pretty good, you should check it out. Anyways, this update is pretty revolutionary, as not only did it add stars and one of the best orbs in the game, but it also added the demon difficulty for levels. Oh wait, there's a leaderboard tab now, okay. I mean, it's empty because there are no active servers, but you get the idea. For it being done in 1 month, this update is definitely up there in the ranking. If you exclude the absolute abomination of an icon that you get for completing X-Step, like who actually uses this? B tier.
I love GD Cologne.
The next thing I'm about to say is truly heartbreaking. I don't know how I didn't notice this earlier, but you cannot actually destroy the icons flying on the screen. I guess during those times, RobTop still hadn't come up with the greatest feature to this day. Wait, there's finally an option to customize the ship. Anyways, with the 1.4 update, now we've got the main level Clutterfunk, so that should also mean that we have the mini game mode. Now, I think the addition of the mini was a great idea for many reasons. Not only does it add a new twist, but it being more of a modifier makes it applicable to every other game mode there is. What's also pretty cool is that the mini icons have their own unique textures. This feature does actually still exist, but it is kind of buried in the settings menu, where most people probably never look. As a certified Chad myself, I still use it, and honestly, I think it is better than the default and more people should give it a try. It looks like RobTop has finally decided to get rid of the ship shading here. Other than that, the online section looks about the same, with the exception that now there's a magic tab. However, the editor has tons of new decorations from Clutterfunk. It also looks like Rob got rid of the empty second page on the edit tab, which is quite funny. Overall, it's a decent update, but still not a lot of new content. C tier. Right, so we're in version 1.5. Oh, okay, it looks like there are a lot more ship icons as well as now cubes. And we should have a new level, yep, theory of everything. Which also means pink orbs and pads. Now my personal view on pink orbs is that they're pink. I've always gone through the top here. Let me know in the comments if you're a top or a bottom. Okay, that sounds horrible. Maybe don't do that. Oh yeah, we also got the UFO now. I don't think there is a single person on Earth whose favorite game mode is the UFO. Don't get me wrong, it is a cool and original concept, and it does add versatility. I personally think it's kinda mid, but hey, who am I to judge? It's one of those game modes where if you do a wrong input, it's not really savable and you just gotta accept your fate. Overall, not the biggest update. I guess there's new content, but there's really nothing special about it. Oh wait. Let me just put it right there, yeah. Now we're getting to the big numbers, and oh wow, it actually looks a lot better. There are way more icons now. Yes, we've got secret coins now. Finally, is there anything else in here? Oh god. My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined. This update also features Electro Man Adventures, which is pretty cool. And if that wasn't enough, now we've got our first out of 3 demon levels, Club Step. It has honestly been a pretty long time since I've played Electro Man Adventures, as it is one of those levels which people don't specifically like or dislike. It's just there. I've always found the coins on here very easy and sight readable, maybe with the exception of the first one, where all you really gotta do is just hold. Funnily enough, I really enjoyed this level, and I know it may sound weird saying that when I have thousands of hours in this game, but I just hadn't really got to appreciate the level up until now. Unfortunately, Club Step is locked, so my lazy ass won't be doing all that. I just read that apparently auto levels are now in the game. Now I'm not the biggest auto level enjoyer as I don't really play them, but I can understand the appeal and why some people would. I'm kidding, everybody and their dogs know that auto levels are for absolute cowards, and only alpha males have played real levels like No Clip Bloodbath, pretending like they were actually beating it. Anyways, update's pretty good, and it's really a shame that it includes a certain feature. Okay, it appears that I still cannot destroy the icons, so that's sad. On the bright side of things, now we have a new top 1 in the game. One thing that you can immediately notice here is how colorful this level is compared to the rest. I'm pretty sure that's because in the editor now, there's an object color channel. Apparently, this is the update that introduces speed modes. It's honestly crazy that I've never actually realized how Electrodynamics is the first level that has speed changes. Like, this has just blown my mind. The level itself is pretty difficult even when comparing it to levels like Club Step. Because of the speed changes, it's one of the only levels to add this sense of urgency and panic when playing it. But honestly, if you die to this level, then you're just bad, it is what it is. Oh, guys, did you know that this update also introduces copying online levels? Now that's a dub. Oh wait, this is different. They all have their sections now, which is quite neat. Yeah, you see this object color channel that I was talking about earlier? This is what allows for the color change of blocks now. Alright, I feel like this update deserves to be put a higher rank, as not only did it add speed changes, which are quite a cool gimmick, but it also did add a lot for the editor tab, and for that, I'ma put it in B tier. No way! Honestly, I've never been more excited to see a feature being added in this game so far. On top of that, now we've got the level Hexagon Force, which I absolutely love. Like, it's such a good level. Not only does it introduce the new slow blocks and dual mechanics perfectly, but the music goes insanely hard for no reason. Gameplay is also top tier with all of those ARP sequences that you gotta do. This has to be one of the most satisfying duel parts in history. Like, maybe Rob is the GOAT after all. Now if we're looking at the new stuff in this update, like the 2-player mode, which don't get me wrong, it's fine, but I wouldn't say it deserves that many points for creativity either. And I'm pretty sure there are new things in the editor now. Wow, I'm so bad when it comes to pointing out differences. Wait, this playtest thing wasn't here before. Neither were those buttons. If this is the case, then it might actually be one of the most revolutionary updates for the editor that we've had so far. However, something that you might not know is that this update was actually released on my birthday, so actually none of the things that I said matter in the slightest, and that instantly puts it straight in S tier. Alright, I'm kidding, but you cannot forget the fact that you can click on icons in the menu now. Hey, Rob has linked his YouTube channel now. There's only one thing in life that I like more than gambling away my son's child support, and that's the wave game mode. Like, there's just something about it, man. It's such a sick mechanic, and knowing how the community has pushed its limits over the years, you could say that it's one of the best game modes. Blast processing is one of those levels where if you've been playing the game for a while and you have gotten somewhat good at the wave, it just feels like a 3-star difficulty. I get it, Rob wanted to introduce the player to the new mode, but like bro, I'm sure he could have made this part at least a little tighter. On top of all this, we now have the second demon level, Theory of Everything 2, which yes, I unlocked by collecting the secret coins. I just felt like it was worth it for the sake of this video, as I do think it's the best demon out of the 3. Damn, this part is difficult. We might have a strong contender for second place as the hardest main level right after Electrodynamics. Bro, I got a lag spike! Here we go, okay, I'm not washed. Apparently this update also introduces custom songs from Newgrounds, and if you don't know, that's where basically all the online levels get their music from. There's also the option to save your progress now with the account tab, and if you ask me, that's huge. Overall, great update, and if I gotta be honest, it absolutely deserves to be put at the very top. From now on, I will stop ranking the updates based on their size, as the ones coming up have added quite a lot of features, and I don't think it would be fair to compare them with some of the older ones. But rather, I will try and focus on the creativity and quality of the end product. Here we have 2 new levels as well as like 10 billion new icons, which I may or may not make a video about ranking all of them, so you should subscribe. We all know Geometrical Dominator, it's such a classic even though it certainly looks a bit goofy. Oh yeah, the robot, right. So my lawyer advised me to plead the 5th, so all I'm gonna say is that it's indeed a cube, but long. You can tell that Rob wanted to experiment with this cartoonish style, which does resemble the Super Mario games. Don't get me wrong, it does not look bad at all. Okay, maybe just a little. But I do think he could have waited by not adding every single object in the first 10 seconds of the level. For some reason, I do have childhood trauma from this memory part, but now that I've played it in recent years, it almost seems a little too easy. I don't know how I hadn't noticed those little lights that indicate where the next blocks are gonna be, but they do help a ton. Alright, these next parts I've always found to look unpleasing to say the least. But hey, the opposite sex feels the same way when they look at me, so I can't really hate on it too much. There's also Deadlocked, which, don't get me wrong, I could easily beat on my first try, but I don't really feel like playing it at the moment. There are also a ton of new editor features that I totally am not just reading off the wiki, like toggle, alpha, pulse, and spawn triggers, teleportation portals, user coins and profiles, friends and messaging, and what I would say is the biggest one of all, moving objects. Now again, update is indeed pretty big, but to be honest, I don't feel like it should be that high on the list. It's really the only cool things are the move trigger and the ability to absolutely spam your favorite creator's message inbox. C tier.
It's such a beautiful day, I figured a rotisserie chicken.
This update released a year and a half after the last one. Wow, that's insanely long. I sure hope the next one releases quicker. Anyways, we now got the insect game mode, so that's pretty cool. Nah, but in all fairness, was this really needed? We already had the ball, and this is just the same thing, but faster. On the other hand, Finger Dash itself is not that bad of a level. Weird name choice, but I respect it. Oh yeah, we also have daily chests now. But most importantly, the free stuff button to follow Rob's socials in exchange for some rewards. But it's elite ball knowledge to just click on them and return to the game and still get these free items. While this may not look like a lot, most of the new content is actually in the online tab. Damn, like where do I even start from? We got quests, daily and weekly levels, as well as the Hall of Fame and gauntlets. Me personally, I don't really like the quests in this game as they do feel pretty repetitive and the rewards are all the same, but gauntlets on the other hand, again, I may or may not make a video ranking them, so make sure to subscribe please. In Hall of Fame, wait, Those actually loaded? But can I play any of them? Okay. It seems like there are some servers for 2.1, even though 2.2 has been out for quite a while now, but I'm not really here to play online levels. There are also a ton of new editor and gameplay features, like some of the ones showing on the screen now. I feel like stuff like the daily levels, Hall of Fame and gauntlets really add a lot more to the game than people might think. Like, having that constant stream of fresh levels really makes you want to keep coming back to the game. Also, the gauntlets feel more like a challenge than just picking random levels, which might appeal to the more competitive personalities. A tier. Alright, 7 years later, we're at the final major update at the time of making this video. I'm sure you're all well aware of how freaking big this one is for the community. I will try not hating on it too much, but that's just what I do. There's this new level Dash, and I think we can all agree that the name just doesn't go well right after the level finger Dash. Perhaps Dash is a little better, but like, come on, we all know just how iconic Finger Dash really is. Also, the fact that we waited 6 years and 11 months for this update makes it impossible for Rob to change the level's name now. Here's the long-awaited Swingcopter game mode. When it comes to the physics and how it plays, I think Rob did an excellent job. It just has the right amount of floatiness, and it does not feel too light or heavy, as that's what people were mostly concerned about. It looks a bit odd having all those camera effects after playing through all the previous versions. There's also the tower, which introduces the platformer mode. I kind of have mixed emotions when it comes to this one. While it is a really cool feature that allows for so many new types of levels, it also kind of takes away from the original feel of the game, if that makes sense. I do think that adding the new moons was a great call by Rob, as that separates the two modes just enough so players don't feel obligated to play the new one if they don't want to. Lists, paths, a shit ton of icons, new settings, and huge editor changes. Like, there were so many things added that I cannot possibly cover them all in this video. But now comes the time for the ranking, and I have all the power in the world. Nah, but if I'm being honest, there's not really an argument that can be made for putting this anywhere but in S tier. If you don't agree with the ranking and believe something should be changed, then you can let me know in the comments below. Actually, I'm just kidding. Stay mad, don't forget to subscribe, peace.